Okay, so today we're talking about Cole Walliser, you know, the founder of the glambot machine. Or is he? Is that another lie? Are you telling more lies, Cole? Huh? Telling lies and being fucking rude. So I'm just going to test out a little theory of mine before we get started. So if I had a glambot, I wonder how it'd look. Shall we try? Okay, they start with the back facing. It's really fast, it goes really fast, and then you slow it down in like post-production. Like I would if I were on a red carpet. Let's do a serious one. Let's just do a serious one and see how it goes as well too, because So I don't know if you've seen recently, it's been going on for years, the glambot incident with Cole Walliser. Please, honey. I understand he's really proud of what he's done. You know, starting something that isn't necessarily his idea in the first place, but still running with it and doing amazing things where celebrities and red carpet events are concerned. You might know the glambot is that big camera on a kind of rig that takes very quick videos of celebrities or people on the red carpet, influencers, things like that. And then the man behind it, Cole Walliser, he will then edit it in a way that it looks really cinematic and beautiful. And it really is true, the glambot can make or break you as a celebrity. This year, J-Lo has received so much backlash, so much hate about her appearance with the glambot. At the 2026 Golden Globes, just earlier this month, Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, was on the glambot, but all the behind the scenes footage showed her as just being really rude, cold, not willing to interact with Cole. And this obviously left a really bad taste in everyone's mouth. It really did not do her any justice. And in turn hasn't helped her image. Everyone now thinks she's rude, just doesn't want to talk to people who are below her and, you know, service workers, things like that. But I'm going to give my opinion on this just before we get into the whole Cole situation. I personally feel like with J-Lo, because it was the end of the Golden Globes, the red carpet had finished, and she just did that as a kind of last minute thing. I don't feel like she was giving any kind of rude vibes off, if I'm being totally honest. I don't know if it's because I've got a bit of a spicy brain, but to me she were very just in work mode. She's there at the Golden Globes for work, she's a celebrity, she's there for whatever reason as a celebrity. And with this interaction, I don't feel like there was anything wrong. Let's just look at it together, because you might think there's something wrong with it. Me personally, like I've said, I don't. I feel like there's just really loads of unnecessary hate being directed towards her at the moment, and I don't know if that's because of her interaction, or I don't know whether it was just like a certain group of people who don't like her who have kind of made this blow up. So this is the actual TikTok that Cole himself posted of J-Lo.
Hi, my dear. Lovely to see you again. You look amazing. Yeah, right on the star right there. Do we have an idea of a move? We're just going to give a little look or a pose, a little turn. Perfect, great. Camera's going to end right here. We're in a high push wrap. High push is fine. High push is fine. So end right here. It's going to start at the top. 3, 2, 1, action. You go. Give us 1 second. All right, ready. And 3, 2, 1, action. Yeah, slayed it as usual. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Real quick, just a fashion photo. Hi, my dear.
So, Seeing that video, I do understand where people are coming from when they say she's rude and kind of not interacting with him, because yeah, she is there, clearly not interacting with him. But at the same time, as someone who has a bit of a, you know, different brain myself, I feel like it's very easy to be misjudged as being rude when you're not. I feel like she's gone into that with a very, you know, clear goal of what she's doing. There's so many people around her talking, making noises, cameras flashing, you know, the sound of cameras, moving machinery, people walking, people talking, people laughing. There's all of that going on in the background, and maybe she's just not that great at blocking out background noise, and you know what, that's okay. We're not here to be judging people. I have heard previous stories about JLo being really, like, just unnecessarily mean and unkind to, you know, service people in particular, but just, you know, general regular people. How true these are, we won't know unless, you know, somebody came out who'd experienced it themselves and spoke about it, or if there was some kind of video evidence. But from that video alone, I just don't feel like she had any rude intentions when she first started. Like, I really think she's just gone into it with a clear focus of what she's doing. Get in, get out, that's it. You know, we don't know what other thoughts she's had in her head. Maybe she was thinking, oh, I best get it done quickly in case anybody else is waiting, with it being the end of the Golden Globes. There's so many different things, and I don't feel like it's fair to just cancel JLo. There's like over 400,000 likes on comments saying that she's a shit person, basically. And yes, she's a celebrity, but she's still human. She's going to see these and think all sorts, all over a glambot. A glambot whose owner, director, is an arsehole, okay, is an arsehole. Let me tell you why. So obviously this glambot camera, this idea of the whole glambot and it being present at red carpet events and celebrity events, it started in 2016. That was the first glambot red carpet appearance with its director Cole Walliser. The man who created it all, his vision come to life, yeah? Whilst he is associated with the glambot now, it wasn't actually his idea. A man called Joseph Kahn has actually recently come out and, you know, told us all that it was him that came up with the concept. It's his methodology behind it, his idea, his expertise. He created the concept, the design, the lighting, and it was all for E! Entertainment. That was the same year, so 2016. The glambot's first appearance was at the Emmy Awards of 2016. The Stranger Things cast doing a video that just everyone loved. It got absolutely millions of views on social media, and everyone from that moment was like, oh, okay, this glambot is interesting. What is this? What is this all about? Is this a new thing that we need at events? I think so. So from 2016, you know, that's obviously where it started, but from then it just took over. Every single red carpet event, every celebrity event, Oscars, Grammys, Golden Globes. If it was a celebrity event, the glambot was there. They've had celebrities on like Lady Gaga, Billie Eilish, Ariana Grande, all kinds of celebrities. If you can think of a celebrity, you best believe they've been on the glambot. And it can really, really make or break you as a celebrity too. If you have this massive camera that is moving so quickly, so fast, and you are, for example, turned around and you are having to turn around, look at the camera, all within about 0.3 seconds, it's a 50-50 chance whether it's going to look amazing or whether it's going to look shit and destroy your public image. There's been many viral moments about how someone's glambot is either disgraceful or has reignited their career. Hailey Bailey, the influencer, she did one, and before she did it, she wasn't the most liked person. She wasn't the most liked influencer, and as soon as she did that, it turned out flawless, and she was back in everyone's good books. It really is that kind of make or break. How can just one video, you know, how can you basically be cancelled, have a good glambot and then be like #1 favourite again? It really is that crazy. So the thing about this camera is it basically takes 1,000 shots per second. 1,000 frames per second. That is a hell of a lot when you take into consideration that cameras only usually do about 30 or 60, I think. 1,000 frames per second is what the glambot does. Which obviously means a lot of these frames are going to be not what you're wanting to publish. That's where Cole comes in. He is the director, but also does all the behind the scenes editing and putting these videos together before they are published. This is a business, meaning he has a business email. Cole himself manages that email. He responds to them, he reads them. Which brings me to 2019, which is a few years after it popped off, but also a few years ago from now. So in 2009, a woman called Yinka Animation was having a wedding, okay? Nowhere in this starting email does she say what her budget is, how much she can afford, because first of all, it's none of anyone's business, okay? Let's just read this out. This is disgusting. So Yinka emails Cole, who reads and responds to his own emails. He does not have any kind of editor, you know, assistant, something like that who does it for him. It's all himself. So she says, "Hi, are you, the glambot, available for private events such as a wedding? I'd love to have you at mine September 20th and September 22nd. Please let me know your availability and rates. Thanks, Yinka." Cole then replies, "Hi Yinka, thanks for reaching out. Just so you are aware, the glambot is a camera system and personnel used by a network television station for one of the biggest red carpets of the year. It is not cheap. If you feel like something like this might be within your budget range, then I am happy to discuss further." Which initially I don't see an issue with, because all he's saying is just giving you a bit of background information on what it is, you know, confirming what Yinka's already asked, but he has missed out the part about availability and rates. So the way it's written, I don't see anything wrong with it, with that first one, but let's continue, because as always there is an issue. So Yinka replied saying, "Hi Cole, yes, it's something in my budget range, thanks." Very clear, very to the point, very simple to understand on Cole's part. Cole replies, "Copy. I don't see how you could be, since I didn't say how much it was, and could be between $10,000 and $1 million. First of all, honey, when I were doing some research, the original man who came up with the concept, the methodology, the whole lighting and, you know, idea of it all, the real founder, said himself that it was only about 25,000. I say only, you know, that is a hell of a lot, but for a red carpet event it's not. 25,000, yeah? Yeah, that is between 10,000 and $1 million, obviously. But why do you need to be so... Why are you gatekeeping the price? It's almost like you don't want customers. Or is it just celebrities you want in? Because regular customers just don't do it for you. Huh? So Yinka replied saying, "Yeah, I assumed it was very pricey since it's featured at the Oscars. So what are the steps to book? Would you be the person that comes, or do you just work with them for red carpets? What's the rundown?" Cole then replies saying it's a crew of about 15 people plus network setups, rehearsals, gear drop-off, camera rental, lighting rental, insurance, permits, etc, etc, etc. You didn't need to do 3 etceteras there, okay? Etc means more. You don't need to more. Camera rental, lighting rental, so what, you don't own this company? You're not the director or the founder? Is that right? Okay. Yinka then replied saying, "So where would I begin? Through you, or is there a website? Because you're gatekeeping. I'm asking you questions. I'm wanting to pay for your service to have at my wedding, and you're not giving me any information other than the fact that you think I can't afford it. Who are you, my accountant?" Cole then replies saying, okay, it's $300,000. I'll take a 10% deposit to secure the gear, and once I have the deposit, I can do a contract. Ready to get started? That little ready to get started on the end of that email that is giving me all the MLM vibes. Ready to get started? Are you ready for a new you? Are you ready to become your own boss? But more to the point, like, okay, it's £300,000. What? $300,000, sorry. $300,000. How have you got $300,000 from $25,000? Hun. This guy. Do you know what? I'm not surprised. Do you know what? Even if J-Lo was rude to him, I'm glad she was now. Okay? Because you are unreal. Yinka then replies saying, thanks Cole, I'll reach out by Monday. To which Cole says, if you wanted to know how much it costs, you just needed to ask. You don't need to pretend you are going to book it. Are you a child? How old are you, Cole? Huh? That is the most arsey, unnecessary response I've ever seen from a business. One of them anyway. What do you mean all you needed to do was ask? That was her first fucking email. Her first email. Hello, are you the glambot? Can I book you? What's your availability and rates? What part of that did you not understand is she's inquiring about your rates? Huh? She asked then, hun. Yinka then replies, and I'm glad she does, because she says, I did. That's why I asked. I want to book it. And if that was me, I would have just added on the end just to be that little extra bitchy. Please, don't ever assume that I cannot pay for your services. Because I can. You are not my accountant or my husband-to-be. Therefore, you do not know my bank balance. Please don't assume. It really is just so disgusting. Like, how have you... How? I know, you know... Oh God, it's just so disgusting. And how are you trying to charge $300,000 for something that only costs $25,000 to do, to have running, to have present at an event? If that isn't greed and just, you know, all this attention and fame going to your head, I don't know what is. People used to love Cole, which is why when J-Lo had this rude moment on the glambot, everyone turned against her and was rooting for Cole. I'm not. I wasn't then because as I've said, I don't think she was rude. And I'm not now because all this has transpired about him. He's rude. He is totally out of touch. He thinks he's above everyone else. He thinks he is a celebrity. And whilst he has been successful with the glambot, you are not a celebrity yourself. And even if you were, please don't think you can treat regular people like shit. Because there'll be people like me forever making videos about how much of a shit person you are. So just bear that in mind next time you want to be a twat. So after all of this had happened, Cole decided to release a video on Instagram apologising, I presume. I haven't seen it, we're going to watch it together now. Buckle up, honey!
I want to talk about some emails that I sent years ago that resurfaced recently. The tone in these emails was dismissive and curt, and that is not okay. In 2019, I didn't have a team around me. It was just myself. I edited every single video. I answered every single email, and I was overwhelmed. But that is not an excuse. Everything lands on me. I think the hardest part about all of this is being labeled racist. I'm half Chinese, and growing up, issues of identity, race, and belonging deeply affected me, and I would never intend to inflict that onto anybody else. But I do understand that reading these emails, people could be upset and assume bias, especially given the frequency at which people of color experience being dismissed. And so I take responsibility for my words, regardless of what my intent was. I also want to acknowledge people's concerns that they were mistreated or felt dismissed or treated less than on the red carpet. Live events move really fast, and I would never want someone to come see me and leave feeling that way. But I do understand that it could happen, and it did happen, and for that, I am sorry. I'd like to think that I have grown a lot in the past 7 years, and I always want to treat everybody with respect that they deserve, but clearly more could be done, and I can do better. And so that's a thing that I want to focus on, improving and just working towards being better. These are just some thoughts that have been weighing on me, that I wanted to share. And so, thanks for watching.
I don't know if it's just because so many things like this have happened over the last few years, but there's just something that isn't sincere about him. I feel like it's just all words. There's no heart in your apology. There's no real emotion there. It looks like you're trying to like force yourself to have some kind of tears in your eyes, but I get what he's saying. I understand, you know, people do grow. 7 years is a long time to have some major changes in your life. I'm speaking from experience there. But Yinka is black. So that's what he was saying about, you know, the accusations of him being racist because she's black and he's half Chinese, I think he said. Me personally, I don't feel like it's all to do with race. I don't feel like he had any racist intentions there behind his messages and his emails. I think that's something people have unfortunately just added onto it just to make it blow up that little bit more, because unfortunately racism is still very prevalent all around the world. It's still very, not prevalent, what's the right word? I think it's prevalent. I'm not trying to say, I don't know if prevalent is like a good word for big, you know, like racism happens everywhere all over the world and it is so shit and disgusting. I feel like that's something someone's added into the mix kind of just to make everything even worse for Cole. I'm not saying I agree with what he's done. I'm not saying I like him, because I don't like the way he's gone about things. There is that possibility that someone has just added this accusation of racism into everything just to make it worse. Cole has done enough in, you know, most people's eyes to have, you know, destroyed his reputation now. Because let's be real, those emails alone are just so rude and presumptuous. And what, cause it's £300,000 allegedly to rent your services, so that automatically means that nobody other than celebrities can afford it. You do know there are like billionaires, millionaires out there that aren't celebrities, yeah? You don't become a billionaire and just automatically you're a celebrity. There are many people who are millionaires but choose not to tell anyone, choose to keep it private, because there are just sadistic people in the world. There are people who have nothing but bad intentions towards other people. And yes, it's sad, yes, it's shit, yes, it's depressing, but that's just the world we live in now. I feel like this glambot could have been so good for years. You know, the methodology behind it is really good. It was something kind of new that we hadn't seen before, especially where red carpet events are concerned. And I feel like he's just destroyed it for himself, but not only himself, the actual founder, the actual creator of this. You're not just tarnishing your own name. You've tarnished every single person's name who is associated with glambot now. All because you just got a bit of an ego, got a bit too much confidence, thought you were above other people, regular people. Because surely regular people can't afford your services. No, never. The glambot turned from something that was just exclusive to red carpets and celebrity events to something that can be rented by, as I've said before, regular people, general public. And I feel like, is that why Cole is apologising now? It makes me think, would he apologise if it was still so sought after, if it was still such an exclusive thing to have? I feel like now that it's going into, you know, the general public being able to rent it, it's kind of lost its value in his eyes, maybe. Maybe it's not as expensive now for red carpets to rent, and because of that, he wants to keep the general public on his side so that he makes more money from general people. I don't know if that makes sense, but what I am trying to say is he only apologising now because he's scared he's gonna not make any money from this glambot? I don't know. I think he let all the attention go to his head, the fame that he was getting from it, the recognition, far too much, and now he's scrambling trying to fix his reputation, trying to salvage any part of it. I'm all about giving people second chances. If you were in a different mindset and you weren't doing as great mentally back in 2019, having to deal with all this by yourself, like he said, you know, you are allowed to have your off days, but to continuously be in a conversation and be rude continuously and dismissive with someone who is wanting to buy your services, rent your services, that isn't okay. We can't just overlook that, because if we do it once, we're going to have to keep doing it. That is the thing with things like this. It needs to be consistent. It can't be one rule for you, Cole, and another for everybody else. You can't make your prices up. You can't up it by, what, 275,000 was it? Just because you want to. Maybe just to be difficult, or maybe because you don't want her to have your services. What is it? Do you think that you're so high that you are only for celebrities and influencers? No. God, in no world can I have the general public renting my services. Who are you? You know, the way you're going, Cole, you might as well just be outright asking people for bank statements for proof that they can afford your services. Because that's more or less what you've done in those emails. Jumped to the conclusion that she cannot afford you. I hope Yinka had the most wonderful wedding. I hope it was a day full of everything she wanted and more. And I hope it was even better without the glambot. Because if the emails were like that, what would he have been like in person? Would he have even turned up? Would he have upped the price and been like, sorry, it's now 600,000. You can't afford me. I don't know, I mean, it's just not helped. It's just not a good look for him. It's not benefiting him. And more importantly, sending emails like that, you don't know who you're sending them to. You don't know who you're talking to. At first, they could be anyone, and you're just being so rude and dismissive and just awful. Like, where are your social skills? I know, I mean, I can't really say anything because I've got no social skills, but, you know, you'd expect someone like him to have them. And clearly he does not. But yeah. I mean, if things go bad, he's only got himself to blame. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe if this channel is your vibe. Love you. Bye.